being joyful is part of having a wonderful experience of life. Feeling joyful moments, having time with friends, having time with family, and consuming and eating foods that we love is part of joyful living. Otherwise, we wouldn't have any taste receptors in our mouth, and we wouldn't feel pleasure when we eat. So I think it's kind of about having that entire 360 rounded kind of experience of life, where joy is actually part of life, and that we don't feel bad about needing to seek pleasure and joyful moments. That's what I believe.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so it's predominantly then you're saying food related.
I think it can be food related, but I think we've taken it a step further. And I think as people of our age group, one of the things that can happen, I've noticed a lot in people my age, and I'm now coming up to 51, is that there seems to be almost like a little light that's gone out in their approach to life. That they stop seeing themselves as people that can be playful, that can be joyful, that can laugh, like children, that can experience all of those things that make life wonderful. And it's as if they say, well, no, I'm too old for that now. And I hear that a lot. And I find that very sad. I find
I
that very
think so. I
sad.
think so. Yeah.
And part of me finds it sad, but also part of me say, I'm not going to do that. And so I think, the message that we bring to healthy living is that apart from being easy, it is also fun. And it has to be fun for people to be able to do it and want to do it in a sustainable way for a long period of time. And I was saying in today's event that I've been on this journey now for 5 years. I've been able to sustain, this is the longest period of time I've been ever able to sustain any healthy living approach. And I have never really looked back, because I am feeling so well now in myself, that even my doctors are surprised by the way I'm able to manage my health condition. I've got a long-term chronic inflammatory disease that has caused me a tremendous amount of pain, physical pain and emotional pain, because it impacted my life in so many ways. And being able to kind of take some control of that and being able to manage my condition better has been the key to being able to sustain a lifestyle that has been so impactful for me. It's been life-changing.
Does it? Wow. Yeah. And you, what would you relate that to? Is that mindset, or is it a combination of a number of things?
So I think the mindset is that I think I focused on rejecting the idea that I had to suffer for the rest of my life in any way. So I rejected the idea of this was my lot. This is the way my life is going to be forever, and I'm just going to only suffer, and that's how it's going to be. I rejected that idea, first of all, and so I had come to the end of some treatment that I couldn't have the treatment interventions that I needed during a period of time that I was recovering from complicated surgery. And because I was the normal treatment options were unavailable to me, because they would have slowed down the healing and caused more complications, I actually had to. I only had the option of lifestyle to kind of help me manage my condition, and it was in that time that I decided to cut out sugar, and that was basically the single best thing I've ever done in my life for my health. But I had to take it a step further, because if you do things in isolation without kind of an entire approach, then it's more likely to fail than actually taking the full approach of saying, well, look, I've taken the sugar out, but what about the things that I still love to eat? And I felt very sad and bereft that I was able to eat cake again. I'm never going to find any replacement for the sugar that I love so much. And that was what sent me on this quest to look for something that could replace the sugar that I loved having in my food. So, and that was really my story of trying to kind of find alternatives to sugar in order for me to be able to enjoy the sweet treats that I wanted to have, because I was still saying, these things have to be part of my life, because what about celebrations? What about Christmas? What about birthdays? What about a treat that I want to have to myself? Why can't I have those things? And it's having that sort of attitude of wanting to find a solution that took me down this road.
So, well, going back to the joyful living, if people that are listening, our listeners, are wanting to sort of jump on the joyful living train,
Yeah.
where would they start?
Well, first of all, interact with us. I mean, you know, they need to join our Sweet Revolution newsletter. We have so much amazing content that's going out every week.
Oh, yeah.
The Sweet Revolution newsletter is kind of our lifeline, if you like, to the people that are got an amazing community there now.
Reaching out to those people and giving ideas.
Exactly. And just to show them just how easy all of these solutions are. And then, of course, the people
Where do they sign up? Sorry,
they find out to go, they go to sweetliberation.co.uk, and there it takes them through the sign up process. It says join our newsletter, straightforward, and they'll be able to join the newsletter. That will take them through the newsletter process, and we'll be sending that out every week. And then obviously we've got our Facebook, social media, that we have a fantastic and growing social media channels now where people can often interact with us every day and ask us questions and reach out to us as well. So many people reaching out to us. And we also have a community app that hosts a lot of the amazing content that we have, including this podcast. And it's just there as a support system for people that want to take this route towards sustainable, healthy living that's easy and fun.
Right. And okay. And so where's the dissemination between the joyful living and the healthy living then?
I think if healthy living isn't joyful, it's not sustainable.
Right. Oh, okay.
If it's difficult and difficult, I mean, if you're saying, you know, people think that people associate healthy living with hard work at the gym, pain, eating food that's not palatable, calorie counting. It's just pain. People generally don't lean towards pain.
No, they avoid it.
They avoid pain and they lean towards pleasure. So what if healthy living was easy and fun?
And pleasurable at the same time.
And joyful. And all those.
And happy making.
And happy making.
You've got your dancing shoes on.
And your dancing shoes. Let's talk about that. Because you were on this.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that is so much fun actually is the fact that now that, you know, having more energy as a result of quitting sugar, it means that, it's a great opportunity to get with the program. And in fact, actually one of the things I've been meaning to do for many, many years is I'd like to get some dance lessons.
Oh, wow. Okay, what kind of dancing do you want to learn?
I would like to learn, a lot of the dancing. I like to do ballroom. I like to learn sort of rumba, salsa.
Amazing. Wow. Well,
Argentinian tango, maybe.
Amazing. Well, why not? Why not? Well, I just, you know, one of the things I do in the kitchen often is I put music on and I dance, and with the kids, you know, with the grandkids, and I just enjoy, you know, being in the kitchen and having that time where it just feels like fun, you know, cooking and being together. So that's something that I do, and I love dancing. I've loved dancing all of my life, and a lot of people don't know that I was also in a music band. So I did perform on stage, and I love dancing. It's something that is I'm Latin American, so it's in our blood. We hear a rhythm and we can't help moving. So,
hey, Sweet Liberation viewers and listeners, we're really excited about an event that we've got coming up, the 3-day sugar-free challenge. We're really excited about it because we're going to be able to give you all the tools that you need on your sugar-free journey. So with that said, love you and leave you for now, and back to the episode.
Well, they always say the best kitchen parties are in the kitchen, right? So what came first, the kitchen or the party?
Oh, South American, that's like chicken and egg. What came first, the chicken and egg? I think that's the thing. And coming from South America, music is such an integral part of our lives. So is food, you know, and having family gatherings and being together. So for me, making a lifestyle decision that was going to be a long-term lifestyle decision, it couldn't exclude those things in my life that are so important, such as family, family gatherings, community, friendship, all of those things. And so to think, oh, well, it's only going to be like, I don't know, your life is forevermore going to be a lettuce leaf and nothing else. I was just like, it's not sustainable for me. I can't be doing that. Or if somebody said, oh, you're going to be calorie counting for the rest of your life, I'd be like, I can't do that either because I'm too busy. I don't want to be thinking about anxiety.
You grab and go, don't you?
I don't want to be thinking about that. If somebody said to me, you know, you're going to have to be counting macros for the rest of your life. Again, I'm not going to be doing, I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to do that for more than a week. If they said to me, you know, anything which is like too difficult, I'm just going to say no to. Maybe I'm just a lazy person, but maybe I am. Some people will say I am, but I'm just a normal mom. And don't give me I'm already overloaded with the amount that I've got to do in my life. Don't give me more jobs that are difficult to do. That's the thing.
Yeah, because anything that's hard to do generally is hard to sustain.
Exactly. And it's just going to fall down. So for me, you know, making healthy living easy and fun means that, you know, feeling joy and pleasure every day and feeling that happiness and that gratitude and that feeling of optimism should be how you are. That's my foundation for living now. I've made a choice, an active choice, not to be a miserable person, not because I don't have difficult things to deal with. I have difficult things to deal with, but I've chosen to deal with those things from a positive point of view and not from a point of view of victimhood or, you know, and that's how I've managed my health condition now for 22 years.
But I think also there's lots of, you know, it's not just about some of the lifestyle changes in terms of what we're eating. There are other sort of tips and tricks that we kind of follow. And I've tried to do things like, you know, simple things like walking or maybe walk to the supermarket.
Yeah.
You know, that is very helpful because it's helpful for your physiology for a whole bunch of reasons, not only from a mindset perspective, but things like for me recently, I've been told my cholesterol's too high. Well, and you know, and I've said to my GP, okay, I'll walk 3 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, because it was a proven fact. And you mentioned the late Michael Mosley, Dr. Michael Mosley. You know, it's very sad that he died, but he shocked some GPs because he got a group of people walking for 20 minutes 3 times a week, and that helped them lower their cholesterol levels more than the drugs on the
Lifestyle medicine is an actual thing, you know, as we are seeing so many doctors now, you know, taking this approach and understanding that, look, medicine, if we don't deal with the lifestyle issues that are underlying chronic health conditions, many, not all, but many chronic and, you know, avoidable health conditions, then, you know, if we don't deal with the underlying issues, giving a medication isn't really going to fix the problem. It's going to dampen the symptoms, but it's not going to fix the underlying issue. And so I am now at this point in my life, I'm 51, I have a 9-year-old child, and I have 2 older children that are adults, and I have a grandchild. So the decisions I'm making now about my health are going to impact my family, because if I look after myself, I'm going to have a better quality of life. If I get to my, you know, ripe old age and I don't, you know, other things don't happen, such as accidents, who knows? But if I do make it to my an old age, I want to be able to have as much independence as possible so that my children can enjoy spending time with me, my grandchildren can enjoy spending time with me, and so that I'm not you know, physically incapacitated. I personally, if I can choose, who knows, you know, we don't know how much of this we could choose, but if I could reduce my risk of being infirmed, you know, unable to move, and reduce, you know, the things that can happen with my body by dietary interventions, then I will be, you know, I'll do my best to avoid my children having to, you know, to have to look after me because of avoidable issues.
I agree. And I think, yes, exactly. But the one thing we find, though, is that you know, it's the increased enjoyment with the simple lifestyle changes that we've made. There is much more pleasure in doing the things in life that we would want to do. These could be things like as simple as going for a walk. It could be to the top of a mountain, or, you know, going out, you know, and enjoying life in general. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I think for me, the thing that I love is music. That is, you know, I've been a musician before, and I've been, you know, part of all types of music projects all my life. So that's something that I love very much. And so dancing for me is it doesn't feel like exercise, but I know that I'm doing more exercise than I would if I went to the gym just by dancing. I love dancing, and that is my happy exercise.
And how many steps do you generally do if you go out? If you went dancing, what would you say is your step count? Do you know?
I don't know, but it's thousands. And it would, if I was to go, I would do 10,000 steps. I'd just be like, oh, I've got to do that. But 10,000 steps by dancing, you could do even in your kitchen, and I just love it so much. And it's something that feels, I think if you're going to choose an activity, it should feel so natural to you that it should feel like it's not even an activity. And that's my thing. I've got my our food cooking. We're in the kitchen here, so you've got all the noises going on in the background. But yeah, so today's event was amazing. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that worked out really well because and a lot of people wanted to know what the recipe was that you were doing. Tell us about what you were actually baking.
What I was doing is I was making no-bake brownie bites, no-bake brownie bites, and they were just delicious. It took like less than 3 or 4 minutes to make, and everybody was just going mad for the recipe. And the thing is, it's so easy to substitute. By using our product. Obviously, we've got Zucca that we are very passionate about, but taking sugar out, there's no reason to have sugar anymore. We don't need sugar anymore. You don't need sugar anymore. It's not necessary in your diet anyway. But if you are, craving something a little bit sweet, or you fancy something sweet, then make it with the best ingredients so that it doesn't spike your blood sugar and it doesn't cause all the detrimental effects that having sugar has on your body. And for me, particularly, it's inflammation. It causes tremendous inflammation in my body. So, so I avoid it for that reason.
But those no-bake bites, if I may say, they tasted great. But what the purpose of them? Let's talk about their purpose.
The
purpose is all about dealing with the snack craving, right?
So yeah, I don't think. See, I think the approach of the standard diet approach, which is, if you want snack, just avoid, go and get a carrot stick and some hummus or something. And you're like, I don't want that. I want some chocolate. Like, I want a chocolate. I want some brownies. I want some bonbons. I want something sweet. And I just think, well, why not? Well, we'll just have it. Just have it. Just don't make it with sugar. And that is the point is, I don't think we should be depriving ourselves of the things that we love, because psychologically doing that, I think, is damaging. It causes psychologically damaging effects. If you've got past the stage of having any sugar cravings and you don't need anything sweet, good for you. Don't have the sweet stuff. Like, I'm not saying you must eat the sweet stuff. No, ideally, you don't need any sweet stuff in your life at all. But if you're a person like I am that's thinking, no, I really want a little piece of chocolate, or I want this little thing, so much better to make it with a safe and delicious sugar replacement like Zucca, so that you can still enjoy those sweet treats without damaging your health. And that's the point, is I just don't think that giving a message of you must never eat that thing, it's all your fault. You're making unhealthy food choices, it's your fault. That is not a great way to encourage people to make these lifelong changes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And that's the thing. And I think by coming at this healthy living from a very negative point of view of pain, no wonder people don't want to do it. They're already in pain. They're in emotional pain because of stressful situations in life. They're in, stress because of financial stress. And they are dealing with, all the issues of having to parent in this day and age. It's very complicated and difficult, and people are cut off from family members. And the list goes on and on and on of stress factors. So got all these stress factors, and then you're telling people it's all your fault.
Or not to have the things they want to enjoy. Don't enjoy it. Yeah, because they take the pleasure.
You go into the supermarket, you have no self-control. Actually, that's not even actually true. The truth is the supermarkets are set up so that you cannot resist those things.
Yeah.
They are set up in a way that you are hardwired to want those things. You walk into the supermarket, and if you are suffering from a sugar addiction, you've got the waft of the bakery coming in, and then you walk in, and you've got the sweet and chocolate aisle there, and made in all of these colourful packaging to attract you specifically to want to go and eat it. And then the food is manufactured with addictive recipes that mean that you can't stop eating them. So none of this is people's fault. And that's the thing that I want people, I am very passionate to tell people that it isn't your fault.
And the food industries, or the people within the industry, do know what they're doing in terms of the mixing. And this thing that we discussed with Dr. Frank the other day, Sabatino, this thing called the bliss point that they discovered actually many, many years ago, didn't they?
They did.
Where they actually found that the right combination of the fats and the carbohydrates and the proteins, and if you mix them in the right sequence, it makes the food very addictable.
Addictive, absolutely, yeah. So that's the thing, and you can't stop physiologically. Your brain, to stop doing that is near impossible. So I just think stop blaming people. It's like societal gaslighting. Like, it is all your fault that you are that size. It is all your fault that you have this health condition. You are making unhealthy food choices. Well, no, in reality, it is industries that have positioned themselves and inserted themselves into our daily lives so that we don't have any choice but to be addicted to those things. And what we found out through this process of having this amazing podcast and opportunity to interview so many people has been that the same money is driving the companies that are addicting us to the sweet foods as the tobacco money. So that as the tobacco industry, the investors that were investing heavily in tobacco, they shifted their investment to sugar with the same addictive models, but they just copied and pasted it into food now. So they had the addictive models for the marketing, for the positioning, for the packaging. They had it for the cigarettes. We just brought it over to the food. And I don't think there's any accident that at the time that the cigarette industries were going down and the depopularization of cigarettes and smoking, we've had the exact sort of same time frame that the obesity rates have gone climbing up.
Because as people were switching from cigarettes to food, they needed to make it more addictive.
Everybody has got an anecdote of a family member or a friend that gave up smoking and put on weight.
Yeah,
we all have that story. We all know someone that's gone through that. So, and it's no accident.
No. The thing that shocks me, and I'd just like to mention, I've mentioned it before, is when you're looking on the back of things that didn't used to have sugar in, have now got sugar in. So there is certainly a discussion that's been going on between the supermarkets that are selling the products and the food manufacturers, and they're requesting that the sugar goes in, because I believe the conversation is along the lines of the more sugar we're adding to the products that didn't used to have sugar, the more likely that the customers are going to return and rebuy. So if the buyers believe that that's the process to get people to keep coming back to the supermarket, what are they going to do? I mean, I put a thing out onto social media where I was talking to the manager of Sainsbury, and I said to him, everything in your barbecue section you've added sugar to every meat product. Now, not everybody listening is going to eat meat, but everything, that would never have had sugar in the past, they've added sugar to every single product. It's only normally about 4 or 5%, but that probably is the ideal sweet spot.
Absolutely. It's appalling and shameful. And we start from the cradle now, giving children and babies, sweet sugary food. So I think we are waking up. I think just ordinary people like us are waking up to the detrimental effects of sugar, and we need to keep on going with this message. But the opposite, flip side isn't, oh God, Nabila, don't tell me I've got to give everything up. No, I'm not saying that. You don't have to. It's really, they are making it a lot more complicated for you to make the switch than it actually is. It isn't that hard. I mean, I've had conversations with other healthcare professionals, and they will say to me, oh, do you think it's an easy solution? There are multi-layers to the problem of obesity. I'm not denying that. Like, I've worked in research and I've worked in healthcare. So I understand that there are many factors at play here, but the solutions are actually not that complicated, and it really doesn't take a top researcher or a rocket scientist to start fixing this problem. It really doesn't. the more what we say it's complicated, the more barriers you put to people, and the more people are going to you're pushing people away. So we need to stop making this problem more complicated than it actually is. It really isn't that complicated in terms of helping and supporting people through lifestyle changes. And it's easy and it's fun. So there's literally no pain and so much to gain from this. So as a healthcare professional myself, from, and my background, I'm passionate in terms of helping people and saying, we need to stop with this message. And I want, if how many healthcare professionals are listening to this, I want you to know that it is your job and your duty to explain to people and help people and support them through these changes. It isn't complicated. It really isn't. You need support, and you need accountability, and very simple, basic things that don't take PhDs in research to work out. Our great-great-grandmothers did not have PhDs in research, and nobody was obese in those days. So this does not take rocket science to work this out. We need to debunk all of this scientific psychobabble that is going on out there. I'm on my soapbox now, Luke. I'm on my soapbox. I'm very passionate about this. We put too many barriers. We use complicated language. And, for people listening to this, especially healthcare professionals, we need to stop with that. We need to make this simple, easy, and fun so that people can actually make the changes that they deserve to make so that they can have wonderful, healthy lives.
No, well said.
Yeah. So I hope that anybody listening out there will agree. And we want to hear your comments, and we want to hear what you think about the solutions. But what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think let us know. Do us a DM, or get in our DMs, I think is our modern.
Below this.
Get in the DM, I think the youngsters say these days. So do that. Drop in the comments. Get involved with the Sweet Liberation.
Yeah.
.co.uk.
Yeah.
Have a look at the app. There's lots of really good free things in the app.
Stuff.
And like and follow.
Yes.
Certainly in Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Subscribe, follow, and share with all of your friends and family. With that said, I think we are good to go, and we are going to be publicizing and telling you about events that are coming up over the next few weeks. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled and follow us on our social media channels. And we will love you and leave you now. It's been my pleasure.
Yeah.
And we will catch you next time.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye for now. Bye.